I believe that that vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. All of my kids are vaccinated.
Yeah, they are, I guess. Hasn't stopped him from advocating for other people to not vaccinate theirs. And depending on the age of your kids, might not be up to you soon, because we have been waiting to find out when the vaccines are gonna start being blocked, and that is definitely coming in the fall, but it's already begun, okay? One of the newest vaccines that the FDA has approved, some people might have access to it, but way less than would have if not for RFK Jr. So this is the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. It was approved by the FDA on Friday, but only for older adults and for others over age 12 who have at least one medical condition that puts them at high risk from COVID. It could also limit options for people who want the vaccine for a wide array of reasons, including to protect a vulnerable loved one. Again, I don't know why that needs to be explained. But like, if you are around a person who has one of those conditions, they're not the only one that could benefit from them being vaxxed. And in this case, it's not gonna be up to you. They've decided. RFK Jr. knows better, as he has always thought he has and been wrong on the topic of vaccines. These new restrictions could create a raft of problems for those who want the vaccine. For one, the approval document is unclear about what qualifies as an underlying condition. So I hope the doctor you talk to has the right politics. Prescribing the shots in healthy people under 65 would be considered off-label use, making it less likely that insurers would broadly cover the shots. And so, look, the FDA is saying, we want more studies, we want more, and they do the studies, and the studies are fine. When it's RFK Jr. though, I don't trust him. This is the dude who just last week said people shouldn't be taking medical advice from me. Well, now you're forced to. Again, and ironically from the guy who believes in medical liberty. You should be able to pump your veins full of whatever you want, colloidal silver, and just guzzle raw milk and put some parasites in your brain, chew on a bear you found on the side of the road. But if you'd like access to the most recent COVID vaccine, nope. Big government knows better. Hands off, buddy, don't touch that thing. And so, look, is this the as bad as I think it will get? No, I'm more worried about childhood vaccines being messed with. But this could still well result in people dying, people getting horribly sick. And I definitely think that it's a step in the direction that we've all been worried about. Jared, what do you make of it?
Weird, the simplicity of people doing what they want is what's limited. Again, it's a perfect way to put it, John. I'm not sure if enough people, we see the preaching that happened about freedoms. We're gonna let your freedoms be flying again. You're gonna get to do what you want in this country and no more limitations on your life except for the things that we want to limit on your life. It is very simple things outside of what they think is the problem. Again, even folks that just want to protect a loved one that's near them, someone that is vulnerable to it, and maybe they do have issues where they can't, get these types of vaccines. But if you don't think these types of things will then spread to something else, or the next thing that comes up in RFK Jr.'s brain that he wants to keep you from having access to, again, after trials and tests are done, people can do that stuff if they want, or maybe they can't. You know what else you missed though, John, that RFK likes to do that?
What's that?
He has absolute freedom to. There was no barbed wire or fences around that, around the pool of feces that he decided to dive in with his grandchildren and family. I believe it was a week or two ago over there in DC, with explicit signs about why it's dangerous to dive in there and put his head in and shampoo himself in fecal matter. So if he wants to do that, he can do it. I don't remember anyone stepping up and saying, RFK Jr. is gonna be put in jail for diving in fecal matter. Now, he may be imprisoned with a bunch of viruses and diseases and maybe a couple bad cases of pink eye. Oh my God. But nobody's stopping him from doing it. So I wonder where the freedom-loving patriots are now that we've got people in power that they voted for out of the guise of being free that no longer want you to be free. Just think about what you've done and what maybe you wanted in place of that.
Yeah, that's right, but gross. I apologize to anybody who was at brunch while that segment was going on. But anyway, yeah, look, it is. We are living in the most consequential times. Every day, multiple things happen that are absolutely devastating, and it is a grind. I will grant you that, but we need to know it. We need to know, and we need to know why. What are the motivations for doing this? Why would you move in this direction? Because this is what scientists think. This is what doctors think should be done. No, it's because that's what the MAGA movement wants. That's what the MAGA movement wants. They believe, based on no expertise of their own and against every bit of evidence, that these vaccines are killing millions and millions of people. And there is nothing that can be said Nothing that can happen that will convince them otherwise. This one, by the way, our producers know, it's not even the newer mRNA type of vaccine, the one that most of the conspiracy theories are about. It's not even that. But it doesn't matter. It's a COVID vaccine that is automatic. These people are infected with such deep, sewagey brain rot. And it doesn't just affect them. It's not like it's only their health and only their lives that will be on the line as a result of this. And when he goes broader, when his autism study comes out later this year and they're like, you know what, actually we're banning all these vaccines for kids. It is not just gonna be the MAGA people who, they'd be bad enough. So I feel bad for them, they've been so deluded, but it's not just them and their kids who are gonna suffer. It goes beyond that, that's how disease works. And it's why you need to have someone who knows what the hell they're talking about in these important positions. And unfortunately, in basically every one of these positions, we don't have that. And we're not going to anytime soon.